What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome again to another episode of Pace League Weekly. I'm here with my co-host. Some would like to call him the main brain of this whole situation, Justin Clock Management. How you doing today, partner?
I'm doing great, man. Happy to be back in America.
Oh, yeah. You've been in Costa Rica?
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you. You're happy to be back in America. I wish I was in Costa Rica right now.
Oh, man, don't get me wrong. Being in Costa Rica was not that bad.
And then we got my man, Corey, the CEO of a amazing sponsor, amazing clothing line, Bear Clothing. What's up, my man? How are you doing today? Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, baby. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be a part of this. I love everything that y'all do. Super stoked.
My pleasure, man. So happy to have you, dude. First off, always want to give a big shout out and thanks to Warzone Sports Network for putting this on, giving us a platform to talk about fantasy football, get to meet some incredible people, and help out a lot of great foundations. Also going to give a shout out to Trophy Smack. Trophy Smack, man, I remember when I first saw their ads, I thought it was hilarious. They're phenomenal with their fantasy football belts, trophies, rings. If you go to Trophy Smack, I'm actually going to put the link in the description down at the bottom below. Use promo code Pace League, and you will actually receive a free ring with any order of a belt or trophy. And these are no joke. These things are heavy duty. You could break a windshield with one of these rings. It's awesome. So make sure to level up your fantasy smack talk and reward greatness with Trophy Smack. Now, we're going to talk about sleepers today. Each of us have picked three. Luckily, we don't have any overlap. And then we're gonna talk to Corey about how he started this amazing company, talk about the foundation he's representing for the Pace League, and basically get to know him so all of you guys can get to know him a little bit better, even though eventually he's not going to need any introduction with what he's got going on. So if you will, gentlemen, let's start with our guest, Corey. Who are your sleepers for the fantasy football season this year?
My sleepers, man, are some dope ones. I'm a PPR monster, man. I'm looking at Kyle Pitts, man. He reminds me of another Kittle, another Kelsey, with the Julio backing out, going to Tennessee. It's airball time to that big man right there, bro. So I think he's gonna dominate the tight end league, man. Another one, everybody knowing the news, everybody saw PPR wise, big time, is Randall Cobb. He asked for it. You don't just ask for a player for no reason. I mean, and they granted it. He's gonna execute. He executed a little bit with in Houston last year, but he didn't get that full slot big dog Randall Cobb like with that cheese head on him. So I think he's gonna have one of the top receptions this year, man. And then my last one, man, with the injury to Akers, I'm gonna go with Daryl Henderson, man. He's gonna be the lead back out there, man. It's gonna be awesome. So I think those guys will be top. Don't take them from me. Don't rock with them, everybody. You're welcome. You can have them. But hey, that's what I'm going with, man. Those some big dogs, but they put up big numbers. I'm excited to see.
Some great ones. Justin, what do you think about his sleepers, man?
Man, especially the Henderson, the Pitts one is amazing, man. Because a lot of us, being in, me and Jay play with a lot of people who do this as for a living, and everyone is huge on Pitts, so it's hard to get him. But in your normal home league, people have no idea who this guy is.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us lose sight of that. And this dude is going to change the tight end position. That's how good he is. So yeah, I love that pick.
I'm real big on your Randall Cobb, man. I'm looking at just some of his numbers here. I mean, you look at the reception total, the targets, his targets when he was with Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers made it a point to go after this guy. Now his ADP is going to be skyrocketing. So if anybody's doing an early draft, which I'm more of doing a later draft, that's why we're doing our draft on August 29th. Everybody on YouTube, make sure to subscribe to Warzone Sports Network and follow that. I'm looking at these target shares, man. I mean, Green Bay, the lowest target share that he had was 47, and that was in 6 games started. So and he's a good player. I mean, he still had 48 targets last season from Deshaun Watson, but he was also out a little bit. You might worry about injury.
And he came in the middle where he wasn't like all the way into that system too.
Exactly. There wasn't a big rapport made, but he's so skilled in his routes and he's so fast and quick off the ball. I think that's a phenomenal sleeper, man. Well done.
There was no Devontae Adams the way he is right now. So that's going to just clear up the middle for him.
Exactly.
Like it ain't nothing, man. So can't wait to see that.
Very good point. Justin, would you like to go or do you want me to go?
Oh, I'm ready.
Go ahead, partner. Let's hear what you got.
All right. So I decided to do a quarterback, a running back, and a wide receiver. So that way, if you decide to wait on any one of these positions, this is a guy you can get, any one of these. So my first one is Michael Carter, the running back for the Jets. Reports as of yesterday is he's running with the first team. So he is their starting running back as of right now. There's not a lot of competition there. I think his biggest competition behind him is Tevin Coleman. With the 49ers, half of their staff coming over there and taking over as the coaching staff, I expect this team to be a lot better, especially in the running department. And so I would want to own the lead back, especially since he's the 40th running back off the board. That means there's second string running backs going before this man. He's the 112th player off the board, which means you're getting him around the 9th round, and he could be a starting running back on your team. So I love this dude. I think that he is extremely talented and does not get enough credit because people hate the Jets. Like, let's face it, people like to hate the Jets.
Yeah, they do.
But so my next guy, like, this one is just disrespectful, and like he's been my sleeper for years and he's still a sleeper. It doesn't even make sense. And that's wide receiver Brandon Cooks. This man does nothing but perform. In the years he's played, he had one season. Well, first of all, he's labeled injury prone. He's missed 3 games in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And with the exception of that one season, every other season he's played, he has finished at least a top 20 wide receiver, which means you could put him in your lineup any given week and he performs.
Yep.
Now, that being said, last year he was going up against Will Fuller, opposite of him. Will Fuller's gone. He's the number 1 wide receiver in this offense with no other competition. Deshaun Watson is at practice, not on the commissioner's exempt list. So as of right now, this dude is the only option that Deshaun Watson has, and he is I forgot to put down where he's been drafted, but he's drafted as, I want to say, the wide receiver 40, which is just disrespectful. Like, it's insane. He's never finished that low ever.
It's not. What do you think? How do you think it's going to pan out for Deshaun Watson? By the way, like they want, all that other, the legal matters are the main things that are going to hurt him, of course, but they want 3 first rounders for this guy. Do you think anybody's going to give it to him with all the allegations and stuff still holding?
Yes. You
think so?
I think if teams can, they will. But the problem is a lot of teams that are like needy there, they don't have they don't have enough to give.
Right.
The only one that is like, I see 2 teams that have that to give, and that's the Eagles and the Dolphins. And there's been reports that they're pretty close to a deal with the Eagles.
A lot of Eagles.
But I mean, honestly, even if that were to happen, I'm still fine with Brandon Cooks because we saw him do it with Jared Goff. We saw him do it, with all sorts of crappy quarterbacks. It's not going to affect him. Sure, Watson is better for him, but I'm not worried about it.
Sure. Real quick, Brandon Cooks, as of right now, in a wide receiver in PPR format, number 36 wide receiver on the list. Overall, number 86. So you're getting him what? Late 8th, early 9th?
Yeah.
Big time steal.
Huge.
And then my last one is quarterback. That's Matthew Stafford going to replace Jared Goff over there on the Rams. He's the ADP is QB 12, which means he's the last quarterback in a 12-man draft taken. So you could get him, at the end of your draft, basically. And Matthew Stafford is treated like he's old, but he's 33 years old, which I'm not good with math, but I believe that's half the age of Tom Brady. And he's still a young man in the quarterback game. So he's still got years left in him. He's there in McVay's system, which McVay is excited. Like he's been playing with Jared Goff, and he's a creative genius when it comes to offense. And he's had a limiting factor in Jared Goff. And now he's got a quarterback who's got an actual arm and can run whatever offense you need him to. So I'm excited to see that. His wide receiver core is the best wide receivers he's ever had with, them combined. So I'm excited to see what he does.
Yeah, man. And he's got a slew of talent now.
Yeah.
Before he had Galladay, he had Hawkinson. I guess you could say Marvin Jones, but now he's got Cooper Kupp. He's got Bobby Trees. And even Tyler Higbee. I think Tyler Higbee is going to be something now because he's got a QB that can hit him. Then you got Henderson out of the backfield now, which I believe Henderson is, just like you were saying, Corey, he's gonna come up this season. Hopefully they use him the way that he can be used. He's got that 3-down set. He can catch out of the backfield. Yeah, you saw
what he did against the Cowboys. Was it last year when he ran for those 3 touchdowns? Daryl Henderson. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So now he's a man. It's over, man.
I thought you said Matthew Stafford at first. I was like, Matthew Stafford did not run for 3 touchdowns.
No.
Henderson averaged like 16.9 fantasy points whenever he took the starting role last season. So like that's pretty strong. Yeah. All right, guys, my turn. Most anybody who pays attention to me, they know who I like, but I'm going to start with Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel going to a new team. Everybody's been asking me, don't you think, Antonio Gibson, JD McKissick? I mean, you can make that argument for anybody. He's going back with Riverboat Ron. This dude has a crazy skill set, and he can do anything from anywhere on the field. He's let me see. I mean, he's going wide receiver number 40 and 100 overall. So like the value is there. This guy is a PPR freak. At least he was with the Panthers. And I believe he's going to be even more so with Ryan Fitzpatrick because he's going to be catching a lot on the slant. I think Curtis Samuel is definitely going to be somebody to target in later rounds for sure. He's a big time sleeper. Let me see here.
That's another one, Ryan Fitzpatrick. Good.
Yeah. Him, man. I love me some Fitzpatrick. Let me tell you
about him, man.
I have Matthew Stafford as my QB5, but I have Fitzpatrick as I want to say my quarterback 11. So
sure,
yeah,
that's absolutely. Fitzpatrick is a journeyman, man, and when it comes to fantasy football, that dude is definitely a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah, and if I trust like coaching, the coaches love to bench that man, and I don't know why.
I don't get it.
It's when he does well.
He's that Brett Favre mentality, man. I'm gonna throw it, triple team, double team, no matter what. So,
it's going. That's why. Send it.
He's gonna air it out, and he's got an amazing beard. I got to give that to him.
I see you.
I know. I'm trying to get on.
You're getting it, man. It looks good.
Thanks. Yeah.
Looks like it's all more days
before I got to shave it. Yeah. I grow a good beard. The Army. I think that's what the Army they're jealous and they make me shave it.
Travis Etienne, whatever.
Yeah. I just go just like 3 initials. ETN.
The number 1 jersey and in your hearts in Jacksonville. Now it's kind of hard to call him a sleeper anymore because his ADP keeps creeping up. It's tough, but he's still being drafted after Robinson in some of these mocks. Sometimes I see him before, sometimes I see him after. It's tough. In my opinion, I'm taking the value of Etienne. If he goes too early, I'll wait. I'll pass. But the whole point of this is him being a sleeper. As of right now, I still consider him a sleeper because he's going a little bit later in drafts. He's going to be more, to me, more important to that offense than Robinson. And go ahead, like I say to everybody, go ahead and throw the hate down in the comments, whatever you want. This man can catch the ball. He's got what's his name? Lawrence throwing him the ball still. And they've already got a connection. They've got a connection. They're going to the same team. He's going to be playing a lot out of the backfield, catching a lot of balls. Everybody's like, but he's lining up as a wide receiver. Excellent. I play PPR. If you don't play PPR, get your life. Play standard, dude. I don't know, man. That's like sociopath stuff. I can't mess with standard. But if you look at it here, push the value compared to Robinson because of the ability to catch out of the backfield. Robinson has been everybody, he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Great. Etienne is better at it. He's been shown. It's going to be a Mark Ingram a la Alvin Kamara split there. And I believe that just like Kamara did, Etienne is going to come out smelling like a rose on this one. So Etienne is my number 2. That's the running back position that I chose. I'm going for him as long as the value is there. He keeps creeping up, man. Keeps creeping up. Just like Michael Carter. Michael Carter, somebody, you get one of these guys like Rank or Barry or somebody to say the name Michael Carter, up goes ADP.
Yeah, the footballers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're getting real big. I listened to I was at the gym and I was listening to them this morning. They're praising.
They're one of the few that, like, when I talk to a casual fan, every once in a while they're like, "Oh yeah, I know who they are," and I'm like, "Dang, that's wild."
Yeah, man, they're huge. They're hilarious. I love that show. Number 3, I saved the best for last. This is one of my absolute favorite. He has been in the media like crazy right now, and I gotta say, I agree with his point of view. Doesn't mean I disagree with anybody else's. Doesn't mean I think you need to do what I believe. And Justin, I'll preach on this. We've talked for 2 hours on the phone about this one subject, and I think you already know what it is. Cole Beasley. If he's playing,
say it again.
With the whole COVID, huh?
Cole Beasley.
Cole Beasley with the Bills. If he's playing, with the whole COVID refusal, I'm not going to get into that because we don't have that much time. Beasley is an outstanding PPR receiver. He gets open, and he is a freak of nature when it comes to physicality. He has been injured, but when Cole Beasley gets injured, he might be out a game or 2, and he's going to play, and he'll still play the same way that Cole Beasley always plays. He gets open. 107 targets, 967 yards. He was a hair under 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not insanely big touchdowns, as far as, touchdown production. That could always go up. You don't have to worry about hearing regression. That's the worst argument to me for fantasy football, regression, whatever. 4 touchdowns, insane value, wide receiver number 52 and 140 overall.
Drop the mic.
Like, how is it? Every year, it's the same story with Cole Beasley. This dude is a freak. Anybody that throws him the ball is going to get fantasy points. Like, now you got Josh Allen, even if he's quote unquote inaccurate.
And Cole Beasley, 100% of his passes last year were touchdowns. He threw 1 pass for a touchdown.
Facts. The man can dip back in the cut and let it rip, man. I mean, he got a touchdown there. Those are fantasy points. Those are what I look for. And if you can get a guy 140th overall that produces like that, I'm all in. All in. But that does it for our sleepers, guys. Now, the important stuff.
And, well, with the COVID stuff, like I understand this because, like, I always refer to Cole Beasley as catching a case of the Beasles, and like, so of course he's against vaccinations. It just makes sense.
That's good. I just, with that whole thing, everybody has the right to choose to do whatever they want to do. It's
all body. I know is I care about you putting fantasy points on my team. So yeah, if he's on the field, then I'm putting him in my lineup.
100%. So any of these guys that are talking about the COVID stuff, that's another thing. Make sure you pay attention to these guys and what they decide to do as far as regulations and stuff to make sure that they're on the field. D-Hop is talking about possibly retiring. He's not going to do that.
No, sir.
He's not going to do that. Because when it comes down to it,
Aaron Rodgers said that he was possibly going to retire if they didn't trade him. But
yeah. Well, let me ask you guys both. I don't know that real quick. What do you think about AJ Green? You think he's going to do anything over there with Hopkins? Or no?
Man, that's a great question, Corey. Man, AJ Green is a playmaker, And he's another guy that can go deep. He can catch slants.
His problem's going to be staying on the field, though, because in his last 2 years, his injuries have really just been stacking up on him with him getting older at the wide receiver position. I think he will have weeks where he does good.
Oh, yeah.
But I think he's going to like continue to just have little injuries here and there that hold him out for a couple weeks at a time here and there. Right. So it's going to be hard for fantasy to keep him on your team.
Yeah, for sure.
He's going to be one of those guys that if he doesn't get drafted, he's going to end up getting picked up off of waivers.
Boom.
Because he's going to explode. And then the next game, he's going to be mediocre, and then they're going to drop him. I guarantee you, in most leagues, AJ Green is going to be on every single person's team at least once.
I hope it's week 1 when he explodes. Those are my favorite. Every year, there's some player that explodes week 1. And everyone has a waiver in for him, and then he doesn't do that again.
And think with AJ Green too, he's still he's got to stay on the field, but he's still young enough and good enough, talented enough to where he can win you a week with one play. He's that guy.
I just think the Hopkins thing, man.
If D-Hop's not there, that'll really change things, though.
Exactly. Yeah. And the quarterback, how he runs. I honestly, I mean, like we didn't have a category, but deep sleeper. I think he can be a deep sleeper because of the double teams that Hopkins draws, and they got Kirk on the outside. If they put him in a slot like where he should be at his age, he is going to execute the quick pass that he produces when he runs outside of the pocket. So I really think people are overlooking AJ Green, but that D-Hop thing, he's like a monster. He's a game changer. Like having a Calvin Johnson in his prime with somebody playing in a slot. Come on.
I love it, Corey. Atta boy. Talk to him, man. That's what's up. Corey came to play.
This is what I do, baby. Come on, man. Come on.
Speaking of what you do, CEO of Bear Clothing, probably some of the most comfortable workout attire I've ever worn. And I wear this out. I wear this places constantly. Anytime I go do anything, this is what I'm rocking. Bear Clothing. The slogan is the brand that tells everyone's story. Right. We want to hear your story, Corey.
Okay. Yeah, this is huge for me, man. And I really appreciate you guys giving me this opportunity to speak on it.
Our pleasure.
Me, man, it's life, right? Life, darkness, struggles, everybody goes through, right? So my biggest thing was weight. I was at around 500 something pounds. Wanted to commit suicide, wanted to give up on life. There was no outlet for me, right? And when everybody goes into this dark place, you are in a dark, you don't see light, so you're battling your own demons in the dark. If you get stuck with your own demons in the dark, they're going to take control of that. You don't got any positive energy coming in. That's where I was stuck at. So for me, the biggest savior was for my wife and God, of course, right? So I prayed a lot, asked God to get me through this here, because this can't be why me. Why am I wanting to end my life? Why am I allowing myself to be over 500 something pounds? I have kids, I have a wife. So for me, I just prayed a lot. I asked God to get me out of this. Man, I started going to the gym. I started going to the gym once. It started to become a habit. I started going twice, et cetera. Long story short, man, I lost over 150 something pounds. I started to fall in love with myself. I'm a child of God, and the feeling that I have, why not create something through clothing to get that person who is stuck out, to give them an opportunity. That's why the biggest thing, if you look at your shirt, is to wear your worth, right? You were somewhere before you got to where you're at right now in life that you have to overcome. And everybody in the world needs to know that they need to wear their worth, and life is about them, and that they have a purpose. So I am a child of God, and I believe to motivate, inspire another person in this world to live their life and not commit suicide or anything like that, or give up on what they can be or what they cannot be. I'll use myself as an example. If I was to give up on myself, there would be no Bear Clothing. There wouldn't be a brand that inspires people to wear their worth, because for one, I feel that I am the only brand that inspires regular people to where they'll work. That's where all these blessings are coming in, because like you and everybody else that's really believing in this, because there needs to be a brand that inspires people all across the world to live. And that's a good way to put it. And that's the meat and potatoes of what this brand represents. It's a blessing to get the people that really believe in it. We created a brand that tells its own story. If you notice, you go on the Bear Clothing, you don't see me on the page. You see regular people all across the world wearing their worth, living their purpose, sharing their story. Like the guy we shared last night, he lost 61 something pounds. What platform would he be able to share that and share it with confidence, right? So this is what this represents. And social media marketing, it's huge. And this is where the world is trending toward. Internet, social media. So now why not build a huge platform for people all across the world, no matter what race, no matter what size, anything, just living their life, enjoying life, living their purpose. So I can go on and on. I don't know how much time you guys have, but that is exactly what you guys are wearing. That's what this represents. And I feel blessed to see you guys represented and wear with pride, because it represents you. You guys are definitely, every day, whatever it is that you're doing when you hang up this phone in life, you are living your purpose, wearing your worth. If it's a husband, if it's at a job or whatever it is, and you're executing life, you are definitely wearing your worth. Yeah.
I love it, man. That's
it's
awesome.
incredible, man. And man, that's awesome. That you 150 pounds, like that's a lot of weight to lose. Yeah, that's a whole person.
That's a whole person, bro. That's incredible. And you were saying,
congratulations, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Hat is off, sir. I would take it off, but it's tight. So like you've got a lot of folks that are repping your brand that I've seen. And anybody who wants to take a look, I'm more of an Instagram guy, Bear Clothing 1229. Go give him a follow on Instagram, IG, whatever you guys want to call it, that social media that he's talking about. He's got tons of testimonials on there, tons of people repping his brand. Speaking of which, man, you've actually got some pretty big names on there. Like you said, Hue Jackson, he is one of the guys who is on our league. He's been on our show. He's definitely a friend of the show, friend of mine, friend of yours, great person. I saw Rick Ross, man. Oh, that man rocking you too, dude. Like that's big. That's awesome. You're getting it out there pretty quick. Did he contact you? Did you just send it out to him and he's just rocking you?
Yeah, he has opportunity, man. He gives young entrepreneurs opportunity to share their platform, right? That's what makes him so successful. He opens up that door for people, and I took advantage of that to get that out there, and it was a blessing. I don't know if you saw, but the day that he wore the shirt, he was speaking about entrepreneurs out there that need to be shown, and what he was talking about. It was amazing that it goes with this shirt about people wearing their worth, this purpose. This brand Clothing is all about purpose driven for people. It's not about the clout for Corey, the owner. It's not about any of that. It's about the people, man. For me to see people inspired or motivated, excited to live life, man, and not be where I was and have that outlet, it's a beautiful thing, man. The sky's the limit for this. Like you just said, Hue, he's a big time believer. He overcomes struggles like everybody has, and he is definitely, man. Every day I see him, he's living his purpose. He's giving back. I mean, that's the true light, and that may be the reason why he believes so much in this brand, because it represents him and it represents life, right? And speaking on that, I'll stay on topic here and why I chose the children's shelter of San Antonio. I'm huge again on people living their purpose, the youth, man. These kids, they feel like they have no work. They're given there, they have nowhere to go. And those are the doctors, the CEOs of the next generation, the NFL players that you guys talk about. They're there, but they got to figure out that they have a purpose in life to execute those opportunities, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
Right. So that's why I chose that. And it's huge. And it's not even children, it's people. People have so much potential to execute their opportunity, but they don't realize that their struggles ignite their purpose. It builds character. And Bear Clothing wants to open up that door for the world to know that they have life outside of struggle and to be the best person that they can be no matter what.
No, I really like that, because like as a kid, like I had like no confidence, right? Because like I grew up super poor, just real bad life growing up. And like I used to try and like kind of mask that by acting overconfident and everything, you know. So I like to know your worth, because like as you grow older, like you learn, you know, to appreciate where you came from. Like, you know, I have the work ethic I do because I was like, I'm not going to be here when I'm an adult. You know, so I love that. Know your worth. Like that's awesome. It's a great phrase.
I appreciate it. It's huge, man. And everybody, I love what you guys are doing. Y'all definitely are living your purpose and knowing your worth, man. So the support, the word, the visibility for this brand is huge, and we continue to push it. Sky's the limit for it, man. I really appreciate you guys and what y'all are doing.
No, man, it's our pleasure. We appreciate you being in the league, man. I'm glad that we got a spot open for you. Anybody out there that has been paying attention, wanting to take a look and get some of these clothes, some of these awesome digs that we're wearing right now. Again, probably the most comfortable workout attire I've ever worn, and it looks dope enough to where you can wear it out on the town. Go to bearclothing.org, place that order, use promo code Pace League, and get 10% off any item. Not an extra 10, because he's got some excellent deals on this clothing, but it's 10% off any item on that site. And make sure they know that the Pace League sent you. Well, gentlemen, that does it for today's episode. I appreciate you, Corey, so much for being on. Again, Bear Clothing.
Real quick, Corey, what is your Twitter? I know your Twitter's a little bit more complicated. That's why I want to make sure you got it out there.
It's complicated for me. So
we met. He wasn't. He was. Okay. It's Bear Clothing 2.
Okay, gotcha.
Bear Clothing. But Jay knows it. I don't even know it. See, that's how bad I don't even mess with Twitter. But the biggest platform is Bear Clothing 1229. Is the Instagram. That's huge. And to end on a note, for everybody who's watching this Pace League and watching this NFL gravitated, I mean, what this brand represents, we'll go back into the Vincent Jackson. He was an amazing football player where he struggled and nobody knew anything about it. So it's huge. Mental health is very important. The junior say how. Nobody knows about that. But people got to understand that mental health is huge, and that they do have a purpose, that they do have worth. Then there has to be something that is created for people who are in that dark place to be able to share that place without getting criticized. And I'm praying with the support of everyone that Bear Clothing is that outlet to go to and speak with people all across the world so there won't be any suicides or anything like that. So let's share it. I mean, and also let's wear it, right?
Absolutely. Represent for it, man. Give us your foundation one more time that you're repping for the Pace League.
The Children's Shelter, San Antonio, Texas.
Excellent. Okay, the Children's Shelter, San Antonio, Texas. I'm looking here.
Yes, sir.
We if we always put the link in the bio. There's a spot fund that everything that gets donated to the Pace League, click on there. Anything that gets donated there is going to go 100% to the charity of the winner of the Pace League. It also brings a lot of some visuals, some publicity and stuff to these amazing foundations. So if you go to childrenshelter.org,
some stuff too.
Yeah, absolutely. It gives you an opportunity to win. I know $20 plus gets you in a drawing for the Earl Campbell jersey, right? Earl Campbell? Yep. Perfect. Autographed Earl Campbell jersey. Anything $100 or more gets you in a drawing for some custom Jordan 1s by yours truly. We're also going to do $50 or more is going to get you entered into an entry for a spot in next year's league. So that's another one that we started that. Also, if you go to childrenshelter.org, you can pick, you see San Antonio, anything. The thing is with childrenshelter.org that I looked up, if you donate directly to them, they disperse it out. So you don't have to worry about it just not going to San Antonio or anything like that. You don't have to worry about finding it for San Antonio. I'm sure you can find Children's Shelter San Antonio on Google, and you can contact them and donate directly to them. But childrenshelter.org will get you there. You can learn a little bit more about this amazing foundation that Corey's representing, and you can also donate directly to them or hit that link down below. We've also got it set up on the Instagram, Pace_League. I believe that's what it is. Justin, you set that up for us.
Yes.
Perfect. The link is in the bio. Make sure you go donate to some amazing foundations and causes. And gentlemen, that's it. I, of course, am Jay the Plug. Thank you, Corey, so much for being on the show. Justin, do you
Thank
have
you,
any
brother.
closing
Man,
statements?
guys, go buy you some Bear clothing. It's the most comfortable clothes you'll ever get.
Thank you.
That is an understatement for sure. Definitely go bearclothing.org, get hooked up, use promo code Pace League, get yourself a little discount on there, and rock the brand that tells everybody's story.
Boom.
Gentlemen, y'all have a great day. Thanks again, Corey, for being on.
All day, anytime, brother.